Welcome to the Bybit tutorials for the beginners. In this video, I will be guiding you through everything you need to know to get started on the Bybit. Whether you are new to the crypto trading or you just looking to explore our platform, I'll get you covered. I'll walk you through the account setup, how to make a first trade, and will give you some more important tips how to trade smarter and safer. Let's dive right in and make you feel confident using a Bybit.
So obviously you will need an account. So if you don't have one, go to the link in the description and use our affiliate link, which will unlock for you discount on the fees on your trading. Plus, with this link, you will get access to the exclusive deals which are rolling out every week from the Bybit. Okay, so right now when you have your account, so before we do anything, you need to set up few things which I really recommend you, right? So go here into the account info in this tab and you need to do a verification, right? It's important because they let you deposit, but once you want to withdraw your money, you will need to do your KYC. And doing this on the beginning will save you the headache from doing it later when you need to take out your money, right? So you need to go through the verification, which I have already done in here, and it's very simple. Probably if you trade in some broker already, you have been doing that before. Then second and very important things, which I recommend you, go to the security in here. And in here, you need to set up few verifications, right? So what I recommend you definitely is a Google two-factor authentication, right? So you will enable it in here, and simply with every login or request for the withdrawal, you will provide your Google two-factor verification. You'll probably know it from some other applications. And also I suggest you to use email verification, right? So in that case that someone hack your account or try to log in, you will be protected, right? So definitely recommending using these two. Now, before we get into the trading, we need to obviously deposit some money, right? So it's easy. I'm going to click here into the deposit. And here I can choose if I'm going to do a crypto deposit, if I will be depositing some crypto. So I can select, let's say, Bitcoin, right? Obviously, I will choose the chain, right? And then I will choose an amount. And then I will simply copy this address and provide it to my hard cold wallet from where I will be depositing, or from some other exchange, right? If I want to do a fiat deposit, simply click here, fiat deposit. And here I can see all the options, right? So I can of course choose the currency. I can choose the options as if it's going to be a SEPA payment or Easy Bank payment or Zen, whatever. Then you click continue and it will take you simply from the process, right? So once your deposit arrives, you can choose whatever currency you want to transfer it, right? From the fiat, you can transfer it to whatever you want to. I'm personally using obviously the USDT because this is what we're using for the perpetual contracts trading. Okay, now we are here in the markets where you can see the overall overview of the coins, what is really moving, right? What's bullish, maybe bearish, but it's basically just the general information, right? Not the charts. And then if you want to go to the charts, you can click trade, or you can choose whatever you want to trade, right? And then here is a few types of the trading. You can trade spot, right? Or the futures contract and the perpetual contracts, right? Okay, so right now, if we want to go to trade, we simply click into the trading in here, and you have few options, right? So we have the spot trading and the futures trading, right? What's the difference, right? So basically on the spot, I can buy a Bitcoin, right? And I hold it. And when I sell it, right? Whether it is in the loss or in the profit. And the futures, I can basically speculate on the futures price, right? So I'm basically assigning a contract for the future price. So what's the difference? I can basically speculate on the shorts also, right? And there is also a futures contracts and also the perpetual contracts, right? So the main difference is that the futures contract has some expiration. It's mostly 3 months, right? Or there is a contract without any expirations, which is a perpetual contract, right? That's what most of us are trading, right? So, okay, so let's start with a spot trading. I'm going to show you how to place the trade, right? But before we do that, and I suggest you to do that also if you are new on the Bybit or in any other exchange and you're learning how to manage the trades, switch to the demo or the sim account, right? So it's very simple. I'm going here into this my avatar and I'm going to switch to the demo trading, right? So basically everything what I'm going to do right now is same as with the money, but it's a virtual money, so I'm not going to lose anything. It's also very good for practicing trading, right? So here we are right now, right? So we have USDT perpetuals, right? But if we want to trade a spot, I need to switch to the spot in here, right? And I'm going here. You see now it has disappeared. It's not USDT perpetual contract, but USDT Bitcoin network, right? So it's basically spot. All right, so let's try to put some trade, right? So we are here on the spot and here is our demo balance, right? So we can see our demo balance is 100K, 700, something like that, right? Here is a BTC balance, which is 0 currently, right? And let's say we want to buy. So we have few options, right? We can buy with the limit, which means that if the price drops lower, I can set up my buy limit, let's say to the 75K, right? So it means that I will buy 5,000 lower if the price comes in there, right? Or I can enter the market, which I want to show you right now, and it's simple, right? So I will add the order value in here, right? Here, if you scroll lower, you can see my demo balance is 1,000 and something, right? 100,000 and something. And right now I'm going to add the order value, right? So let's say I want to risk 2%, so it's going to be 2,000, right? And I'm simply going to click buy, boom, and that's it, right? Now my order is there, right? I cannot see it in here because it's not a futures contract positions. I simply bought the Bitcoin for the 2,000 and I see it in here in my BTC balance, right? I hope it makes sense, right? Now I can use a conditional orders to get out from my positions with the loss or set up a take profit, right? It's a little bit different than on the futures contract, but let me show you right now. So I need to switch to the conditional, right? And I can set up a available balance, right? So what's my available balance? It's this, right? 0.024 something of the Bitcoin, right? So let's say I'm going to sell the Bitcoin, right? Here I can see my available balance, right? And trigger price will be, let's say, just for example, 82,000, right? So what I'm saying right now is that for this 2,000 Bitcoin which I bought, if the price goes up for the 2,000, I will sell it, right? So the trigger price will be 82,000. And what I basically do, I will enter the market, right? And quantity, here it will give me the offer. If I move it to the 100%, it will basically sell all that Bitcoin which I have currently bought, right? So it will be a sell limit at the 82,000 for that. And I click sell, right? And again, I don't see it here on the charts, but if I scroll lower in here, I see here in the conditional orders, right? So my condition is currently that these 0.024 something Bitcoin which I own, if the price reaches 82,000, it will be sold, right? And again, if you want to set up a stop loss, it basically will be sell again, but the trigger price will be, let's say, 78,000, right? Because I bought at 80K. So if the price drops to the 70,000, I want to, let's say, sell everything again in here, right? And I will simply set sell, right? And now I got two conditional orders, right? Both are actually sell because I own the Bitcoin. If it moves to my target 82,000, I will sell it. And if it moves down to the 78,000, I will also sell it as a loss, right? So it's a stop loss and this one is a take profit. So that's for the spot trading. This is how it works in there. It's the options. However, I think the perpetual contracts are much better because you can use a leverage, right? In here, I'm buying the contract, I own it, and if I don't set up these conditions, which I can easily cancel in here, then I am simply the Bitcoin owner, and whatever price it will be there, I will never be liquidated or forced to loss because it's my coin currently, right? No leverage, no liquidations, right? However, if you accumulating the Bitcoin, I never suggest to keeping it on the exchanges, but that's for complete another different video. Right now, let's go to the futures trading, which us as a speculators prefer much more, right? And I suggest to use a USDT because it has slightly better fees. Okay, so we have switched into the futures trading, and in here we can see BTC USDT perpetual contracts, right? Again, you can trade a futures contract and perpetuals contract. The main difference is the perpetuals are never ending, so you don't have to worry when it will be expiring. And if you catch some really good trade on some low, you can hold it as long as you want to, right? So right now we are going to place a trade. So what we can do in here we can actually choose our leverage, right? So what does it mean? It means that if I choose a 10x leverage, I can basically leverage my trade 10 times. So with using $1,000, I can open the trades in the value of $10,000, right? It's obviously great, but be careful because this is double sword edge, right? It not only for the profits, but also for the losses, right? If you trade with the leverage, you need to be more precise with the entries, right? Have the really smaller stop losses, and you need to know how to do that. Then you can choose from the few types of the leverages, right? So it can be cross leverage, which is basically taking the leverage from your whole account, and it would be from your whole margin balance, right? And then you can choose the isolated leverage, which basically means that the leverage you're going to use is just for this specific trade, right? The advantage of that is that if you get liquidated, your loss will not exceed the amount of the money which you have risked for this trade, right? So that's the main difference. There is also some portfolio leverage, right? Here is more details where it is described. I am personally using a cross margin because I never risk more than 2% per one trade, right? More likely it's less than 1%, right? So I'm fine with the cross, and I really not a gambler, so that's something what I really don't need to care too much. And also, I never use a leverage more than 10x, right? So if you don't really exposing your accounts, right, you really don't need to think about this too much. But if you're trying to grow your account, let's say from 100, right, let's say you deposit 100 and you really want to leverage it up, then maybe isolated leverage with the $10 risk per trade, it's maybe better than exposing this, right? It's also a good place. But in the prop trading, you know the rules, and you should not expose your account too much, because obviously you're not trading just your money, but also the interest of the company. Okay, so right now let's look what we can do in here, and we want to open a trade on the Bitcoin, and again we can choose a quantity, right, by moving it in here, or just by filling it up, right? So in here I am not filling the value in the USDT as on the spot, but in here I'm filling the quantity of the Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin I am buying, right? So let's say 0.1 Bitcoin, right? And I can see a value and the cost of the trade, right? Then I can set up a take profit and stop loss in here. So basically entering TP and SL. And then what I can do in here, which I didn't have this option on the spot, I can simply click TP and SL, and I can set up my target, right? So let's speak about the same values, right? So let's say I put my target to the 82,000, right? And I put my stop loss to the 78,000, right? It's simple trade 1-to-1, right? Which is something which really don't give an edge, but for the purpose, right? So we can see what's going on in here. And in here, we can simply see that if our trade will hit the target, we will earn $180. And if it will hit stop loss, we will lose $200. I highly suggest you that all your trades should be at least 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, which means that if you're losing $200, you should be targeting $400 profits, right? It's simply a probability game, and if your risk-reward ratio is positive, you will be doing better in the trading, right? Now I confirm that, right? I have it set in here, and then I can enter the market long, right? So entering the long, and now we will see our position in here, right? That's something what is different in compare with a spot, right? So I can see my position in here, and I can be actually adjusting my stop loss and take profit here on the chart, right? So look, I can scroll it, I can move it, right? So I can set up my target in here, right? And also I can set up my stop loss by just moving it here on the chart, right? So that's the difference what I see on the charts, right? Also, if I scroll a bit lower in here and I go into my positions, I can see my position in here, right? So it's a BTC USD, currently in $1 profit, right? But here is a realized PNL. What does it mean? This is basically the fee, right? So when I'm entering the trade, it immediately takes the fee from my trade, right? And here, if you click this thing, that's showing you these nice things which you can show in the Discord or the social media or whatever, right? So that's what the people are sharing, and that's how you enter the trade. If you want to close it, here is some tip, right? Let's say we want to close the trade right now, whatever profit it is or whatever, right? So we can close, we click the market, and right now I can choose that I can close the partials of the positions, right? So yeah, my position is very small, right? But you can see I can close 50% of my position, 25%, right? 70%, whatever I choose. So I close a partial of my positions, which I really suggest to do if the market is moving in your way, right? Or maybe going to hit some highs, you can close, right? And here it's showing how much your loss or profit will be close, right? So we will leave this position run. We will see if it will move or not. It's 15:30, which is the New York session time when the market is moving, right? So we have the chance that the price will go up anyway. We will see, right? All right, so let's close this trade, no matter where it is right now. And now I'm going to show you a buy limit, right? Not the market order, but the buy limit, right? So let's say I do some analysis, right? Which of course you should do. And let's say I want to trade from this level, right? So I do think that the price will go higher, right? Maybe you use some trend lines, whatever you use, but let's say you want to trade from this level, right? So what you can do, you can actually draw the projections of your trade side, which I'm personally doing in the trading view because I prefer it for one reason, right? In the trading view, I easily see all my watch lists, right, which I can see in here also, but I have stored all my drawings and the analysis, right? And then when I want to trade in here, I simply follow my trading plan, right? So let's say we're going to do a buy limit here at 79K, right? So what I can do, simple thing, I need to click limit, right? And my limit price will be 79,311, right? And like this, right? And again, I'm going to set up a TP and SL, right? Plus, so my SL price stop loss will be 78,613, 78,613, right? And my target will be 81,423, right? So now, if you look, it looks much better, right? My risk reward. I have $69 risk. I have $200 profits, right? Now, if I move this, look how the values will be changing, right? I can increase my position, right? Here I'm increasing the position, right? So it's an $800 risk for the 2,500 profit, right? Now I can confirm that, and I can set up a long and now you can see, right? Now, at this moment, we can see this limit position in here, right? Which is basically saying that if the price will come down here, then our order will be executed in here and then go higher, right? So I can set up my order and I can simply go to the gym or for the beer, right? It's up to you. And now you might thinking, why I don't see the stop loss in here and the take profit, right? Simple, right? Let's look lower and you go to the limit orders, right? Here is this buy and this TP and SL is here, right? You can see it in here, but you don't see it in the chart at this moment, right? Once your order will be filled, you will see it in here also, right? So that's how it works. Okay, so that's about a trading. Now you need only 4 things to start to make money as a trader. So it would be a great mechanical strategy with the fixed criteria, good trading mindset, being consistent in following your plan, and then money. And it could be your own money or via the prop firms, which is a great way for the trading for the people who don't have huge capital but are consistent in the managing the risk. Okay, and right now I'm going to show you the most important thing, and it is where to withdraw the money. So obviously you go to the assets and then click to withdraw, and then you follow the process, right? Currently here in my Bybit, you can see 24 hours withdrawal restriction notice. Why is that? Because I was resetting my password, and it's for the security. If you reset your trading password, they basically block your withdrawals for the 1 day, right? So it's for the case that someone hack your account somehow, so they will not allow him to take your crypto, right? And then you will see your withdrawals history here on the bottom, right? So that's it, guys. I hope this video was helpful. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments. I will be very happy to answer them. I'm reading these comments. And if it was helpful, follow us for more trading tips like this one. See you next time.